And we're live, episode 36, The Watchers Podcast, WATCHERZ Podcast. That's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you want to find us, Instagram, all that good stuff.
36.
I'm Tavon, Tri-State_tip on IG.
Tiger Helly 19 on the IGs and the Snap. The Government, Jason Williams on the Facebook. Follow the Stripes.
Smitty Green Giant on Instagram and Julian Smith on Facebook.
Smitty with 365 on Instagram.
No relation. Actually, relation.
Yeah, it is.
It happens.
And down at the back corner,
Corey J on Instagram.
the boy Corey. Go ahead and take us off. Where you want to start at?
Might as well start with some basketball. Last time we were here, there were a few more teams in the playoffs, as there's left down to 2.
Now it is the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets who are in a slugfest for the
Denver up one game. Currently 66-69 in the third quarter of game 2. 8th seeded Heats. First seed of the West Nuggets. I think everybody picking, huh?
But can we just talk about how the last round went? It was like Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah.
Started out completely the same,
And
then ended up being completely different.
Yeah, we go back to the last round. What you want to start with?
So out west, Denver Nuggets just swept the Lakers.
which was no surprise. I mean,
I'm happy.
The sweep.
Didn't y'all talk about this that week y'all was here?
The sweep was a surprise.
I don't know if the sweep happened yet or if it was. I can't remember. It may have.
Last
That
time
was like 2 weeks ago.
last time I was here, neither series was over yet.
You sure?
no.
I swear that
I know the
was
Celtics series wasn't over.
I haven't been here. I don't know.
The Celtics series wasn't. Either way, we'll rehash. Western Conference Finals, 4-0 sweep, Nuggets over Lakers.
As expected.
Was it?
I didn't expect the
Was
sweep.
it a sweep?
I didn't expect the
You
sweep.
was expecting a sweep?
I thought they were going to at least pull out one or
You was
two
expecting
games.
a sweep.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Well, you were right.
Eastern Conference, Celtics, Heat.
Started out as a sweep.
Went to a game 7. A great comeback by the Celtics. I think they reverted back to whatever it is off-on issue that they got going on
At the wrong time.
during game 7. So, but I mean, they almost came back from a 3-0 lead, or blown lead. So we'll see what happens with the Celtics. Are y'all where are y'all at with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown together?
I think that trio's somebody's leaving.
Who's the trio?
Brown.
Who's the third?
Between Brown, Tatum, and Smart.
Okay.
I mean, that's when I think of the Celtics.
Yeah.
That's the three that I think as the vital pieces. I think one of them's going, probably Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
But who knows? I've been wrong before.
I agree though. I think he's gonna want more money than what they're willing to give him. They probably could give it to him, but I think he's gonna want more than they can give him, and he's gonna dip off.
I think Jaylen Brown had the worst game to sell himself if he wants to be the first option on a team.
See,
And he's still in his 20s, not to cut you off.
26.
Oh shoot, yeah, he definitely dipping.
my thing.
Yeah, he's 26.
Yeah.
They're both under 25.
No, he's 20. Jaylen Brown's 26.
Jaylen might be 26. I'm
Jaylen
gonna double check
Brown
now.
is
I'm gonna double
26
check
years
now.
old.
I was just gonna say Google now.
But then you trashing his game. But then
I'm not trashing his game. I'm just being honest.
it's the same thing for Harden, though, right?
He's 26.
The same thing for Joel, right?
Well,
They always have to bring up like the teams.
That's what I'm saying, though. Don't trash somebody.
We're talking about the one person.
Like damn, y'all like people don't fuck up, dog.
How did other people get involved in? Oh, you mad because you picked the Celtics? That's right.
Not mad about
You
nothing.
did
They
pick
got
the
further
Celtics.
than anybody that y'all picked, though.
You picked the Celtics though.
It was whatever.
Part of me, I am a Jaylen Brown fan, and I'm not gonna bring his value down based off of one game. I do believe he does have value. I think it comes down to the Celtics, and ideally they would want to keep that team together. Just try to figure out what's missing. Maybe
point guard.
somebody who can help control the end of the game or
It's not even
playmaker
that.
or something. When those two kind of fizzle out, they need a consistent third option. I would say the Celtics, though, ever since the Isaiah Thomas thing, just and granted, this wasn't Brad Stevens at the time. I don't know how they move as far as keeping their talent because look, we still got Jason Tatum. Let's try to see what we can get for Jaylen Brown is what I feel that they're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's just because what happened with Isaiah Thomas to me. They didn't want to pay him, and they was like, all right, let's just go another route right now. And I think they're kind of dollars versus statistics when it comes to that organization. Ever since that happened to me, since that event happened, that's how I view.
Is it the same front office?
Yeah.
Well, see, Brad Stevens is now in the front office. He wasn't in the front office before.
It was Danny Ainge, no?
It was Danny Ainge.
Okay.
Right.
So you may
and
have
Brad
a different-
Stevens kind of helped grew up with Jaylen Brown and them. He was there. He was the coach when all of them
Got in
started
there.
coming in.
It's going to be an interesting time.
So you just got to convince them that y'all can run it back.
But the problem is now is with the money he'll be making if he gets what he's worth, what he's eligible for,
like $200 million, I think.
May have to change that team up. You may not get some of those
Pieces
other
back.
players that you had on that team this year.
So,
That's true.
We're good.
I kind of felt like this was the year that Jason Tatum was going to ascend to another level. That's what I thought was going to happen. Like just after last year, being so close, tasting the championship, and then
they were close again.
him knowing with the next, like players hit that. Sometimes you see that year where they get close, and then you see that next year, it's where they ascend to the next level of who they are, what their game is. And I thought that, especially when he had that,
He was first team.
50 something.
But he was first team All NBA this year.
Yeah, but I'm just now it's the playoffs, and now it's the end. And now it's this is what starts separating.
Yes, I get
the good from the
I get
great.
what y'all saying, but again, Cap said it. They were still the last two teams in the East.
Yeah.
So they didn't have if you go by Giannis, they didn't have a failure of a season.
No, they didn't.
It's just they were one game short of reaching the final destination. 2 steps short. But
you know what it kind of was for me though, the way it happened in that series. Now, had it been a back and forth seesaw, it kind of feels different than it was damn, we on the verge of getting swept.
Okay,
We come all the way back, and that game 7, that whole team was a no call, no show. I think that's how the series goes. Like if it was a hard fought,
I do agree that there needs to be change. I just don't
something.
know what it is.
Did you point at the role players?
They really need a point guard though. Somebody that's going to manage the game for them. But,
I think it does come down on their 2 stars who should gather the burden of that. But also, this was a first-year head coach who hopefully learned from this scenario.
hey, because he had them jacking up threes, man.
But there were
the other thing that was
some
killing
other
watching
things.
that,
There was some other things as well, but
I should say this: we shouldn't put it all on Jaylen Brown though. But
I mean, it was a shared effort.
Yeah.
It was just a whole.
yeah,
What Jason was saying, though, I think Tatum did elevate this season. Because he sure as hell waxed my Sixers. when it came down to doing what he needed to do, what was it, 9 minutes of total destruction, and then 51 points to send us home? Like, I think he evolved. I just think they ran out of gas.
maybe it was something that's not consistent about them that I can't really put my finger on at the moment. I have to kind of rewatch some of those.
on
highlights
paper,
of
they
games.
got a good team though, man.
Coming back down from 3-0.
Yeah, they put it. They had a great effort. They had a great effort.
Young legs or old legs. I think it wore them out. Playing all those minutes, it wore them out.
Maybe Miami ain't a young team either. So.
No.
They might be better off next year coming in at the 8 seed. The way they played at home,
Right.
It was that, and that was a little weird that their inconsistency at home.
Yeah,
Because I guess you put so much,
That's crazy.
you put so much into having a great year, then you get home court, and then it's weird when home court doesn't really work out for you. It's like, damn, we kind of was losing at home more than we. I don't know. It was a weird series.
Corey.
It was a weird series to me.
I got a question for you. Would you be opposed to trading Jaylen Brown and somehow getting Bradley Beal?
No.
You don't want it, or you're not opposed to it?
Bradley Beal's not a good player to me.
Okay.
I would pick Jaylen Brown over Bradley Beal.
Okay.
What has Bradley Beal done?
Bradley Bill just wants his money.
I'm just asking a question.
He went from like short hair to like the kind of hair like yours, and he started wearing a headband. I know he did that.
And then he put a ski mask on and stole $250 million. Because he ain't done nothing since.
Okay.
But he injury prone right now. Well, you don't want to label him injury prone just because they probably said, "Hey, you think you can go tonight?" Nah, I'm gonna sit down.
Part of me ain't mad for him taking that money, but
there's so much that factors into that stuff nowadays. Because you think about like these guys that trade you off, at any moment's notice. But when it's time to get your check, go ahead and get your check.
I'm just tell you this: he's going to be known as the man that rejected a trade to the Warriors.
Is he the new Dame Lillard? Because Dame didn't want dip neither.
He was supposed to be on the Warriors. What, 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Yeah, told him no.
All right, off subject. Y'all think Dame gonna get traded?
To me, yeah.
I think
I'm not, because number one, I'm not trading. You can't trade number 3 draft pick. There's 3 good kids in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
You don't sit here. I hate when people trade for old talent.
Yeah, he's
and then Dame probably got 3, maybe 4 more years. Then you're gonna be Blazers again.
I think now you move him.
But you ain't gonna get too much for him.
That's the only thing.
You'll get
something from.
You'll get something.
You get
Compared to
salary
like 3
dumping
years
contracts.
ago. Nah.
You get salary dumping contracts. And the Blazers going to be really rich with a small market team that can afford to bring anybody who they want.
Of course.
Bring 3 big talented, stars there, but will they be able to convince them to come out there and play in Portland, Oregon?
Well, it might be different now. With
I would say that they're going to try. If they get rid of Damian Lillard, then to me they're doing the route that the Spurs are doing. Let's try to rebuild around a new talent. And hopefully the guy we got is our next star. But
I'm for it. I just think now's the time to do it.
But going back to Jaylen Brown, like who do you if you do a sign and trade, because that's most likely what they'll have to do because of the money, especially if you're going after another star. Like where do you put him? Because like out of all the teams that got money, it's only.
Well, that's what I was asking about Bradley Beal, because they're both same position, similar money.
But Bradley Beal just got a max. Jaylen Brown's on the last year or whatever he had.
Yeah, but he can sign it.
He'll sign a max.
So he would have to do a super max
and then
sign
they would get traded.
Yeah. He ain't gonna be able to go too many places then. If you
Some-
do it like
some
that.
people will pick him up.
But they don't have to offer him a max. That's what I'm saying. I don't put it behind the Celtics to say, hey, this is the best we can offer you.
What if come draft night they're packaging him and their draft pick for something?
We'll see.
Do they have picks in the draft?
I don't
'Cause
know.
I know we don't.
I don't think not many. I'm not sure.
Nah,
Yeah,
not
I
sure.
think they got a first round.
Because our picks go to somebody else because of that one.
I still
trade.
think Celtics got picks left from
Nets.
from the Flim Flam they pulled on.
Oh yeah,
We could have had Jason Tatum.
They
man.
got the Sixers too one time. They
Yeah,
got
we
the
could have had
Sixers.
Jason Tatum. Yeah.
They Flim Flam y'all.
But you don't know how it would have played out with Joe. That's
true.
the
That's
give
true.
or take to me. You
That's
gotta take
true.
in
Because
consideration.
what the big board had Fultz over Tatum.
Yeah, they had Fultz as the number one player that year.
Yeah.
So Fultz in college was different
Mm-hmm.
than what he came out to be. But
Then he was hurt too. I think he was hurt, and then his confidence was shot for a long period of time.
Now he doing this thing in Orlando.
Yeah,
As soon as he grew his hair, he started balling.
I don't like the fact that I grew hair, man. I'm hair sensitive.
so let's go back to finals real quick. Are we all in agreement? Nuggets.
Yep.
Nuggets in 5.
Yeah, he's not gonna let them get swept.
Nah.
No, Jimmy Butler's not gonna let them get swept. I should say.
They have nobody stick that dude right there. He just throwing shit up and making it.
Yep, right there. Exactly.
Like, that's the shit I would have left apart after a while. Yeah, I'm done.
Jokic is that old head.
That YMCA player, man.
Old head in the court that just be killing the young boys.
Soon as he come, like I remember, see, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, so I remember when traveling teams used to come and play basketball, against our teams. And there will always be this kid come in there with, he got nice parents. They come in there with, like now they wear the Nike Tech fleece set, but they'd always come in there with a sweatsuit on, and it's cold outside. He ain't got no hat on, got a haircut just like that. As soon as he take off his stuff and he wears his uniform, like, that's not a kid right there. That's somebody's younger brother trying to recapture some glory.
That's my uncle.
But it's always a kid look just like him coming to the gym.
Look at me,
Coming exactly how he looked. High socks,
straight down the court.
some big old sneakers.
All right, but wait. So now this is my thing with this. If he wins, you already know people gonna say he should have won MVP.
Oh, he should have won it.
I mean, Chippy.
Yeah, spicy.
Don't do it, man.
I mean, individually, they had to give it to Joel because he got robbed last year. Joel played better last year, not this year.
Yeah, they gave him back.
Yeah, they
owed him one.
Yeah, it was my bad.
So I
homie.
thought he should have won it 2 years ago, not last year.
No, well, this year he did set more records though. Okay. Now you know what? Joel is the regular season MVP. He's a bench player in the playoffs. As much as I love the guy, he's a bench player in the playoffs. He's a 10-minute guy at best.
Okay,
that's what she said.
So, yeah, I'm gonna agree. Nuggets,
either 5 or 6.
Five or 6. Yeah, I can go with that.
If they win tonight, all they gotta do is win at least one in Miami.
Yeah.
When is the draft?
June 19th.
Right after this.
You already know.
Long enough to go 7 games?
No.
Okay.
I don't think he's gonna go 7.
I mean, why not? Just go 7 games.
It's not going 7.
Why not? Just like y'all said, then can nobody guard Joker? But
yeah.
Side note B, you mentioned the Boys and Girls Club. Yo, they built the second basketball court out there.
Yes,
I rode by today. I was like, oh shit, it's 2. Where the what was over there? The Christmas tree joint.
Yeah,
used to be. I was like,
well, that used to be a basketball court.
Oh, was it?
Then it was a tennis court, wasn't that?
It was a basketball court, tennis court, everything. Everything was there.
I remember them
we used to
days.
just take down the net for people to play basketball.
Yeah.
I actually took Jace up there, and he got it in on them courts.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they nice.
They look nice. Yeah, I was
missed
riding
that
by.
place.
I damn near took the ball out of my trunk. Was like, yo, let me shoot a couple.
I'm just gonna keep riding by. I'm officially retired from basketball, unless I can just stand there and shoot it. Oh my!
I thought he made that.
Yeah, I shoot around every so often.
So that's where we going.
But then with
Denver and 6.
So you happy with Nick Nurse as your coach?
I wanted Monty Williams.
Monty got the bag.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
$82 million.
I wanted Monty.
And what's the name?
The Pistons gonna be good. They got good talent.
Yeah.
What's
What's the young boy's name that got hurt last year?
Jake K. Cunningham.
Yeah, him. He dope.
They got the center kid I like, and they got that boy Jordan Ivey. So
they got to rebuild.
We missed out. He's gonna get some people that want to listen to him.
Didn't Vogel get the Suns job?
the most stupid shit.
yes.
Doc Rivers was supposed to get it, and then he backed out.
Ain't nobody gonna pay.
Oh wow.
Because Nick Nurse was supposed to get he thought he had the Bucks job. To Giannis said, I want a brother.
Who's at the Bucks?
Yeah, who is the Bucks coach?
Adrian Griffin.
Adrian Griffin. That is right.
Oh, he got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's good.
Another brother as a coach. I think we got like 15 of them in there now.
That's
a lot.
It's good because we wasn't getting nothing at one point.
That's very true. I think the only job open now is the Raptors job.
Who want to do it? No, Ime took that one.
No, you may got Rockets.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
Raptors job is still open.
And Budenhauser hasn't gotten hired yet.
Nope.
Nah, I don't. I remember I said I think he might try to take
Took
time
the
off.
leave. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he should.
He said his brother passed.
Yeah.
He should. Yeah.
I think that's what.
And that's what I would have liked. That's what I would have liked for the Suns or one of them competing teams to get. But yeah, I think he's taking time.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He'll have a job within another year or so if he decides to come back. So.
That just
means
someone's getting fired next year.
Continuing with sports, Shannon Sharpe, tongue tied. Shannon Sharpe leaving undisputed. You know what? Every time I think of Shannon Sharpe, I start thinking about how he talks. So then it entered. Nah, that didn't sound right. Never mind. Anyway, Shannon Sharpe leaving undisputed after 7 years. So we ain't gonna hit nobody else skip.
Miles and Hen Dog.
I'm gonna miss that.
I'm
man.
gonna miss Miles and Hen Dog.
How long does that show last when I have him on there?
Goat man.
Not long. Apparently, they said nobody wants to host the show with Skip. They're tired of his shit.
Do we give Skip his own show?
He's gonna get it because they just paid him all that money for it.
So, Shannon doing something else? Are you speculating, or he just done? He just tired. What do you think? What is your guess? What's your guess?
What's the dude name? Yeah, Bob Iger. Yeah, he wants. You see, you hired Pat McAfee. Took a picture of Pat McAfee.
Yep.
And he was just with Shannon Sharpe. Everybody wants to see Shannon Sharpe and
Stephen A.
On a debate show together. Shannon Sharpe should have been left after that shit last year.
When he played him on TV.
About Tom Brady.
Yeah, and then he's like, damn, anytime I say anything about him, you try to disrespect me and boom, boom, boom.
I'm of the majority. I just think he was just sick of Skip shit.
Everybody gets sick.
I think the Devin Hamlin thing was the last straw, really. Because I mean, because after that, you can tell that dynamic wasn't really like.
Yeah, I was done with him right then and there.
Did anybody see this week's episodes after he announced it?
I didn't.
Okay. I didn't get it. I was trying to catch it, but
I didn't bother to watch.
I wanted to see how their dynamic was after it got announced. But
he chased off that show. So he chased
Joy Taylor.
Joy Taylor left. Then the other girl left. And now you got Shannon Sharpe leaving.
Which is dumb because, I mean, Shannon made the show.
Basically, because that show was faltering when he first started it.
Yep.
They made that show for them too, right?
No, they made it for Skip.
it was Skip's show.
Skip was with who at the time?
He was with Stephen A. and ESPN.
No, I'm talking about when he first went to Fox Sports. He wasn't. Who was he with? His first.
It was Shannon. I think it was Shannon.
I think it's always been them.
I think it was Shannon. He asked to work with Shannon, and then it is what it's not.
Can you bring that down to Soul Train line, please? Thank you.
The Soul Train line.
MDZ.
He just a clown, man. Like, you know, you suck as a worker when ESPN your last day. Nobody said nothing to you. They just threw a party, and everybody dissed you your last day on air. They were straight on air dissing them, and nobody told them stop.
It was already part of the script for the show.
That's what I told you. I was like, damn, you can tell nobody likes.
I don't think that show gonna last long after this.
Hell no,
It's done.
They're gonna have to move him with somebody. I feel like.
But they're saying nobody wants to work with him.
Well, it's gonna be one of those guys that's trying to come up there. Like, you know who I think could do it?
Kellerman.
No, is he?
Kellerman's still ESPN.
For now, they canceled his show.
Max.
Yeah, yeah, they canceled because Pat McAfee. From what I understand, I guess McAfee's gonna be taking his
McAfee
spot.
be lit though. Like, his show be funny. He be getting everybody to talk. He's like how Stephen A. was when he first had his show. Because then he had like Iverson on his show and Kobe on his show. When he first had his talk show thing that he had.
They just come on ESPN too at 11 o'clock.
It was quite frankly, right?
I can't remember the name. I just remember he had a full head of hair.
Stephen A. never had a full head of hair.
He did during that time. He was skinnier in the face.
Man, yeah, he eating, man.
Yeah,
Took $12 million a year.
As much money as he make.
The highest paid analyst.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
If he went Italian, he can fly to Italy for it. You know?
But who knows, man?
What's next?
What's next? Skip ain't always bother me. He don't bother me too much though.
Really?
Skip don't bother me too much.
I appreciate his personality.
Yeah.
As like a TV personality.
He made me laugh a lot sometimes.
Right. And then he had some suggestible, like some questionable takes.
Yeah.
And he committed to, you know, doubling down on being wrong. But
that's the best way to put it.
But yeah, what he did with that thing last year between him and Shannon with Tom Brady discussion, that you could tell Shannon was like, bruh, for real, like,
if he flexed
like,
any harder,
I'm telling you right now, like, that ain't cool.
I thought
he was trying to tell him, like, yeah, it ain't cool. You stop, like, cut it out. And he was still doubling down. And I'm saying this and I'm saying that. And Shannon was like, look, let's stop.
He was like slapping the table.
Yeah. And Shannon was like, "Why? Don't do that. Don't do that." And he was trying to be for real with an honest moment with him. And then he was like, "You know what? Go ahead." And he just felt like it looked like he was just done with him right then and there. So
I mean, it was bad when he just called off for work, just left the man to do the show on his own mom. Yeah. So that let me further know he just like forget it, and the fact that he just took a buyout on a popular time like that lets you know it was some serious shit behind the scenes with them two. So.
Well, whatever it happens, I do think Shannon is gonna end up getting something that works for him.
He also took Club Shay Shay off Fox too. So
okay.
So he's done.
Yeah.
Club Shay Shay.
Yo, I am going to miss Miles and Hen Dog.
What's that Jay-Z line?
Go ahead.
From ain't no love in the city, ain't no heart in the city.
Ain't no love in the heart of the city.
From Blueprint.
What's the line?
I don't remember. This someone.
You don't want to say it because we don't get flagged, man.
Nah, the so break up. How the song starts. All right, I'll play it for y'all.
How it go?
You know, was it the Fat Boys break up?
The Fat Boys break up. And everybody wake up because somebody got something to say.
Yeah, every time somebody breaks up, I think of that song.
And everybody got a problem with Hov.
So,
first R-rated movie since Insomnia.
What happened?
This is his first R-rated movie since Insomnia.
Oh, Oppenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm there
Insomnia.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Insomnia with Al Pacino?
Oh yeah, he was getting
Hilary Swank.
I remember Insomnia, but who first movie?
Talking about Christopher Nolan.
This is his first rated R movie since then.
Because I'm like, who in this movie was Insomnia? I got you.
Was that the joint where he wasn't sleeping?
Yeah, when they was in Alaska.
Yeah,
and they were trying to catch. What was Robert Williams?
He was Robert Williams.
A serial killer.
He was a serial killer.
Yo, for somebody who was that's known as being a very peaceful person and very loved by everyone. Insomnia and 1 hour photo, he was creepy as hell.
Oh, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yo, he was a damn good villain in
Genie.
You talking about Mork and Mindy?
No, you talking about Aladdin?
Both.
Yeah. Genie, Mork and Mindy is an alien. Yo, he has some range. But there's an episode of SVU that he was on.
Yeah.
That episode.
I think that was around the time when he was doing all those movies. He had the white hair, right?
Did he have white hair?
Did he have it looked like a white wig?
I'm not sure.
I know he had the white hair in 1 hour photo.
Yeah. 1 hour photo when he was having the daydream and he was sitting on the people's toilet. I said, yeah, he's all the way crazy.
He wasn't right up there. Shout out to Robin
Williams. R.P. Robin Williams.
Yep, I sat at his seat at the Everett where he filmed Dead Poet Society.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They have his seat blacked out.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
And you sat in it.
He's like one of my favorite actors. Though.
I mean, anybody can sit in it, but
because I started.
I'm trying to make it sound cool for me.
I started. right. It was an experience.
You just took my whole
cool. But yeah, he started with Mork and Mindy for me.
Yeah, my favorite. You want one of my favorite movies of his? That was Toys.
I don't think I ever saw Toys.
You never seen it?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't think I ever saw it.
It had a young LL Cool J in it. He was making like toys for the government that was supposed to be like destruction stuff. It's been years since I've seen it though.
His monologue in Good Will Hunting. Yeah, he was that guy.
Yeah.
Flubber.
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Jumanji. Yeah, I fucks with Jumanji though. Man.
Jumanji was good.
Look, Mr. Doubtfire's. This goes on.
Mr. Doubtfire.
Oh my God, that's a classic.
Yeah, that could have won an Oscar.
Yeah.
For makeup alone.
On and on.
What's next?
Before you gotta throw in the Birdcage.
Birdcage.
Oh, Birdcage.
Yeah, I like that.
I just recently watched that movie within the last couple of years. That's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, it is good, man. I rented that from Blockbuster.
Yeah, Birdcage was good. I was like,
on accident. I thought it was a different movie.
No, I watched it one day. I think I watched it with my mom on the Humble.
The Birdcage good.
She just had it on and we was watching. I ended up getting into it. It was a good movie though.
So we got anything more for sports? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, I think that's all the sports we got today.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Nothing going on football wise. Nothing going on. Hockey. Well,
Are they in the
Stanley Cup final started?
Yeah.
Did Panthers win last night?
I checked that.
Golden Knights.
Okay.
I checked that.
Have you ever been to a hockey game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I'm the only one that ain't
last year. Was it last year?
Y'all like it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
yeah,
It's
dope.
great.
You know what's crazy? The game is faster.
How
was
many
cold in
quarters?
there.
How many quarters are there?
Three. Period.
You said it's cold in there?
Yeah. When we went, it was cold.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the
It's
ice.
Yeah, matter of fact,
The game, if you watch it in person, it's faster.
me and Brian went last year. I went with Wayne. Shout out to Wayne. Earlier this year, I make it a point now to always see the Blackhawks when they come to Philly. I'm gonna do that every year. Then catch
Chicago.
catch whatever other
Blackhawks is who?
Yo, we should
Chicago.
all go.
Chicago.
Yo, we should all go to a hockey game one time.
I'm with it because
And then-
the tickets only $50.
Yeah, they weren't
It's like
bad.
good seats.
And believe it or not, I know hockey has a stigma for only certain type of people watch it. There is a lot of color.
You'd be
that's
surprised.
A lot of fans. A lot of fans.
You'd be surprised.
But
Especially-
I've always messed with hockey even when I was a kid. But like even then, it used to be like, oh man, y'all black people don't watch hockey, blah blah blah. But like when you go to the games, I mean, of course it's gonna be more white people, but it's a lot of us.
We sprinkled in.
popping up. We in there. We
Yeah, it was-
in the building.
Built, man.
Remember this guy would get mad at Jason because he was clapping for the Blackhawks. He's like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Does he have to cheer that loud? I said, it's his team, bro. You just have to deal with it.
You see what
He started
You see
smacking
what
his
I'm
teeth like, man, you better sit down, player.
Be like angry man.
You be on the ice.
like angry
Right.
man from Martin.
But nah, hockey's cool in person.
Okay.
Like it's
I'll give
cool
it
in
a shot.
person. Like I'll watch it on TV, but it's cool in person because
You know what's
baseball. Baseball I could kind of watch on TV.
See,
but
but
not
what
really.
I heard is baseball in person is better.
Better,
than
yeah,
at home.
sure is.
Yeah.
The crowd in person.
The crowd makes
Yeah.
it better. Yeah.
It's something about being
And hot
there that
dogs.
changes it.
You said hot dog.
Yeah, the hot dogs.
It got to be grilled.
Baseball hot
like
dogs.
my complexion.
I don't like baseball hot dogs.
Eat a hot dog.
Well, I love baseball.
Man, that
hot dogs.
shit's mystery meat, man. Y'all don't eat that shit.
I love hot dogs. I eat one right now, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Mine gotta be burnt.
Hot. I'm talking about hot dogs. The food, man.
Man,
And I'm comfortable with my sex. Man. I don't got to say that.
Yo,
I know who I am.
Let's move on. What we got? Let's get out of sports.
he said door pride month.
Let's get out of sports. Yes.
All man here.
Happy Pride
All
Month.
man, shout outs to everybody participating.
June Pride Month.
Yeah,
You know.
do the thing, be who you are.
off something. How y'all look at this though?
I'm waiting for Disney Plus.
No. It looks pretty good.
Well, at least say what
So-
you're looking at. The people don't know what we.
Yeah, nobody know what you looking
Is that
at.
the Haunted
I'm sorry,
Mansion?
the Haunted Mansion trailer's on TV.
The Haunted Mansion.
They
people,
remade
Disney.
it.
Yeah, it looks alright.
The
So they
original,
can't stand
or
for
not the
them.
original, but the one was with Eddie Murphy, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like that one too much.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
I don't even remember it.
I watched it one time.
Tater tots, they look good too.
What we got next on this list? Man? What we transitioning to?
We're gonna go into
Whatever you want to.
You
Whatever.
want to go into some sad news? We can talk about some sad shit.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
Let's talk about some sad shit. You gotta talk about some sad shit sometimes.
You pouring one out for your
Let's
own?
start.
What's going on?
Y'all know, right? I'm pouring it out. Pour one out for Ray Stevenson.
Ray Stevenson. I remember him in the second remake of Punisher.
Rome.
Punisher.
I remember him in.
He was in Rome.
Wasn't he the voice of Beowulf in that
No,
Beowulf
no,
I forgot all about
animated
that.
movie?
no. That
forgot all about
was
that,
another
too.
guy. I know who you talking about.
One that Sean
find out.
Bean.
We had to read Beowulf in
Yeah,
senior.
I'm gonna tell you, but
12th grade.
where else do you remember Ray Stevenson from? I'm trying to think.
I
know,
think of the Punisher after
yeah.
He was
Tom
Warzone.
Jane.
I know he's been in
Warzone.
other stuff.
He was in
but-
Thor.
He was Thor. Yep, he was in Thor. He was one of the.
G.I. Joe.
He was also
Was he?
in
He was Firefly.
Yeah,
in the one with the Rock.
Oh yeah,
He was in
Yeah.
the Book of Eli.
I never watched
I still haven't sat and
Me
watched
either,
that,
bro. Me either.
I've seen little clips and still never sat and watched that.
I'm surprised.
never mind.
That's
That's
actually yo. I like it.
No, you know what it is? It's like that for me and Equalizer. I just don't buy Denzel as a unstoppable.
I actually
action.
like Book of Eli. Though. It's not one of my
That
favorites.
was him in Book of Eli.
I like him in Man on Fire.
Yeah, he was in Book of Eli.
Who man?
I know he was in
Man on Fire,
Rome.
Denzel.
Ray Stevenson was in that.
No. You
Oh,
talking about Denzel Unstoppable? I like him with Man on Fire though.
I think everybody did like him that.
Well, Ray Stevenson. We had Punisher, Thor.
Ray Winston was
what-
the one that was Beowulf. Okay, I got him mixed up.
That was a
Ray
weird
There's a
movie,
Ray
man.
and
I
another Ray.
fucked
You
with
know.
it. I fucked with it though.
But R.I.P. to
Accident Man 1 and 2. Scott Adkins.
Yeah, he was in
movies.
that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to use his actual accent. Like, it's funny when people are from a different, place and they play American and then you get to hear them in their real accent. It's like, it sounds so weird.
He was a real
Like
good
Daniel
supporting
Kaluuya.
character.
Tom Holland for me.
He was a real good supporting actor in the movies that he was in, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he had acting chops.
I thought his version of Punisher was really good, though.
Yeah.
It was catering to the action and violence fans.
Yeah. And,
I still like Thomas Jane, man.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
I
I
still
like that.
Thomas Jane.
That's my favorite one.
It wasn't long enough.
Maybe
Yeah.
it should have got a sequel.
It needed more time.
I felt like it should have got another one.
Yeah.
Just go watch Dirty Laundry. And
Yeah, I know,
that's all we
exactly
got.
what-
That's all we got.
to me, he sounded like Frank, though. Man. Outside of Berthal right now, I mean, he was the guy that I thought was really should have been playing him a lot longer.
He
than
needed
what
some
did.
time. Like that Thomas Jane one was good. He just needed more time.
Yeah.
I think an hour and 45 minutes didn't justify
What he could do.
what he could do. Yeah, he's Tom Jane is a very good actor, and I don't think he got to like fully explore that character enough in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
what's his
agree.
name ain't even in it enough. Like what's his name? John Travolta, the
Yeah.
enemy.
Okay.
Like he's not even in it that much. So it's like, what was they doing with their time?
Well, I don't want to say they had a big cast, but they had
They had some names
people
in
in
that,
there.
though.
They had
Kevin Nash.
people in there.
Yeah, Rebecca Ramone, Ben
Rebecca
Foster,
Romijn.
It was Lauren. What's her name?
Ben Foster.
Lauren Herring,
Lauren Herring.
Yeah. So they had and then even the second
With
the
her
second and
eyes.
lieutenant, who he set up because he was
Oh
gay.
yeah, I can't remember his name.
I don't know
Yeah,
who you're talking
he
about.
was popping at the time
Yeah.
because they had
He's in a bunch of
he
movies.
was in the football movie with Denzel. Remember the
Remember the
Titans? He was the other
Titans.
coach and Remember the
Mhm.
Titans. So
Oh,
around
yeah.
that time, he was still like he was in movies. He was getting
Yeah.
a lot of roles at that time.
Yeah, I just don't think. I mean, give him 2 hours, and also, give him another film so he can fully flesh that character out.
Oh shit! He took the lead.
Yeah, heat up right now. There is unfortunately another death we got to talk about.
Yes. The most magnificent legs in the business.
Mhm.
The queen of rock and roll, Tina Turner.
And Miss Anna Mae Bullock.
I didn't know she was living over in Switzerland?
Sweden.
Yeah,
Sweden, yeah.
It's one of them, somewhere.
Some-
Somewhere in we call that Scandinavia. No, not Scandinavia.
Yeah, somewhere that really need a Kodak.
Yeah. true indeed.
I feel
Now,
like
I didn't know, and she's been like un-American since like 2013.
yeah, she renounced her citizenship.
Oh yeah.
I don't blame her.
Right. I didn't know that thing was like a thing. Like that to me, that's weird, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yo, man.
It's planet Earth.
But it's also
It's planet Earth.
But I mean, if you really look at it, she was a trendsetter though for a lot of these girls to come up. And just figure that girl was dancing that heavy in heels the whole night, man. So
You know her legs were insured.
Yeah,
they were.
she started all that.
Shout out. Her legs insured.
it was like $1 million. Or something
She told
like that.
Tyra Banks to do it.
Damn.
Yeah.
I got to rewatch that movie.
Oh, what's
It's
love
been
got to
so
do with
long.
it?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
been so
man.
long since I seen it.
I can't do it with her.
I just
passing
remember.
down, boy.
I just remember only certain parts, like especially from the mean parts. But I got to rewatch it in entirety to really understand, what she went through. To get
And
to.
even after she passed, the memes that came so quick.
Yes.
Like,
They had the one
You know the
what's the name?
internet, don't
I'm guilty
It was
for one.
it was heaven and the clouds, and then Ike was looking through like this.
hey, Ike, look who came through the.
No, you know the internet is undefeated. They probably got stuff waiting for child actors right now to grow up to meme on, man. Like the internet don't wait.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
undefeated.
I apologize for the one that I sent y'all there. But yeah,
Got angles.
Well, she was a movie star.
Yeah.
She's a movie star.
She did Broadway, I
One of-
believe.
One of the greatest, performers ever. She definitely, lived
the
a full
way.
life.
yeah, she paved the way for
Yeah.
a lot of these people. So shout out to her, man.
So yeah, I don't got no drink left, but cheers or not cheers,
You want
but
something?
you know,
You want the
Yeah,
sour?
salute to
R.I.P.
Miss Turner.
Tina Turner, Ray Stevenson, and anybody else who we may have missed. And Let's go on to something more lighthearted, upbeat.
I mean, I don't know how upbeat it's gonna be. We're gonna talk about some wrestling.
I could do that. I could do that.
Talking about Roman Reigns hitting the big 1-0-0.
So 1,000 days as which title?
All of them.
Everything champ.
What do they call his? It's the
Universal Undisputed Heavyweight Intercontinental Galaxy Champion of the Universe.
Have y'all been seeing? Have y'all been seeing these things online on Instagram?
Like, he's holding all the titles. Every time a new title introduced.
It says like Roman Reigns versus like 95, 96 Jordan and the Power Rangers.
He done collected all 7 Dragon Balls, man.
Oh, you talking about whoever he's beating?
Yeah. Some of them, man, I'll be in stitches.
It said Godzilla.
So like Terrell Davis in the audience.
With him hitting that though, I'm finally glad that they're moving somewhat on the storyline for the bloodline.
Yeah.
And right now, Jimmy, somewhat Jay, not really Jay, it's more Jimmy, has looked like he's
had enough
against that whole faction that they had, and he's trying to break away from it. So we already got him super kicking Roman at Night of Champions.
Then he mushed him.
Then they come on SmackDown. They had their little back and forth. Jimmy does mush him while he's talking, and then Solo spikes Jimmy, or is it he spikes Jimmy?
Before
and
that,
there seems to be a divide between the Usos versus Solo and Roman.
But even before that, he received a new belt.
Yeah.
Roman did get a new belt.
Looks like the old one, suffering gold.
I will say this whole bloodline storyline has probably been one of the best things that they've put out in quite some time. So I will give them that.
I was tuned out at the main and then I really just started watching it again because I was upset.
I've been waiting.
I'm still mad Cody lost.
So I was waiting for the end of the bloodline. That's what I wanted to watch.
It's like a Godfather type movie going on right now with this whole thing.
I don't know who it is that takes out Roman. I'm assuming it is going to be Cody. But somebody, who sent that? Was it you, Corey? Somebody sent something about letting it be Jimmy.
No, letting it be Jay. Yeah.
Letting it be Jay.
Yeah, it started with him. Let it end with him.
That'd be crazy though. I don't think.
And now I'm starting to think about it. I'm like, I wouldn't be mad.
I wouldn't be mad neither.
I'm telling y'all,
because I don't care. Because past Cody not getting what he's supposed to have gotten. I don't think you could have painted a better picture.
Yeah.
Even what's going on,
they could have still had the same effect.
Same thing could be going on right now without Roman having titles.
The crowd gonna go more crazy for Jay though.
Yeah, I think
the crowd when
not in LA they wouldn't.
When Jay finally hits Roman, that shit gonna be louder than anything. Yep. It's gonna be louder than when Sammy did it, louder than when KO did it, louder than Cody. It makes more sense for Jay to be the one to beat Roman, me personally. But I think they're gonna give it to
Cody Rhodes.
It gets down the line.
To me, I think that story's over. It's time to feud with Seth Rollins on Raw, man. Because I'm with you. Like to me, the only person deserving to take that strap is Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso. Like if you put Cody in there right now, it's like you shoehorning him.
It makes no sense.
Thing is, like, who does he feud with afterwards?
Does he go to SmackDown after that? No, come on now, keep him on Raw. Let Seth Rollins, say, hey, you beat me all them times. You won't beat me now because I'm a champ. That's the story you want to tell right now.
And can we acknowledge the fact that Cody Rhodes has pretty much had his Booker T, Triple H moment? That's where that's at right now.
And they got Austin Theory to be able to, pick up the rest of that slack that, they're going to have because, Roman's feuding within himself, in his own group.
Yeah.
You got a whole guy there that can pretty much match up with anybody, go toe-to-toe with anybody, strength, speed, all them things that, good wrestlers have. They got the stuff right there to fill the rest of the show. Let Roman and Jay finish this thing out. Let him get his win at SummerSlam, and let him be champ 2-3 months before you give it to him. Because they're not gonna let him go into the Royal Rumble as a champion. That ain't gonna happen.
Let alone invest time in it.
No, man, it's different people now. So
now, what I'm hoping is they allow Roman to still carry 2 belts.
No.
See now, because that was a cool, like, it's little things that are cool.
Aesthetic.
Like, it was always, aesthetics. It was cool when he's coming with one belt, and then you have Paul Heyman, and he holds up one hand, and Paul hands him this belt, and then he, like, little stuff like that is cool. It makes it different. It makes it more obvious, how I'm the guy. I got one belt around my waist. Now, I got another man handing me another one. Like, he doesn't have to have 3, but the whole 2-belt thing was cool.
But it makes no more sense now that they got a belt on Raw. One of those belts was the Raw belt.
I mean, that belt didn't make no sense for them to put that new one on Raw.
Like go from the time, when Triple H had the 2 belts, they gave him 1 belt. When Brock had 2 belts, they gave him the 1 belt.
Yeah, I always thought the carrying 2 belts was a cool thing. It always made it feel different.
I got him in a video game with 2 belts.
Yeah.
Now if he won the NXT title, that'd be different. Then he could have 2 belts again. But there's no way in hell they booked that match at Survivor Series.
All right.
Hayes, Reigns, and Rollins. I don't think they got the balls to do that one.
All right.
They should.
All right, I got some other wrestling news that I'm pretty sure Cap's excited about this one. Okada and Daniel Bryan are finally going.
Oh yeah, when I was watching that shit last night, so I didn't go up.
So did they have New Japan had a?
It's a super show. It's Dominion.
Is it Forbidden Door? Oh, it's not Forbidden Door.
No, Forbidden Door until next month.
This is their thing.
Yeah, this like they all showed up on this show.
So it looked like it's
so you got Ospreay and Omega.
Oh, they're on fight.
Yeah, you got. I keep calling him Brian Danielson, and Okada.
That's gonna be hitting.
Yeah,
they gonna be banging in that one.
And there was somebody else they mentioned. I don't remember.
Hopefully not the Wizard.
Isn't it? No, he's some battle royale. I was thinking of Eddie Kingston.
And
He's still there.
Yeah,
They don't bring honor now.
Another thing about AEW, man, I'm sorry if they keep going these several weeks without showing Daddy Magic on TV. I'm not even gonna bother watching.
So they did give more information. I think we all kind of knew once they said Chicago was going to be the opening show for Collision. That it was going to be CM Punk. Mm-hmm. So CM Punk officially got announced for Collision June 17th. I believe it's a 3rd show. I thought they were getting rid of Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's that 3rd show.
It is a
talks
3rd
of it.
Really? Right now, it's a 3rd show.
Oh wow! So they're gonna be.
They canceled the 2 YouTube shows.
So they canceled the Elevation.
No more Dark and Elevation.
No, that shit ended once he put that. So
I used to watch that late night when I was.
Yeah, so that's done.
Hard.
And now it's just going to be that 3rd show on Saturday.
So they're going to be on, what is it, Wednesday night?
Friday night and Saturday.
The 2 worst nights to be on TV.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Like, to me, when you do Saturday, you got to do 6:05.
Yep, that would have been dope.
Because people home.
What about afternoon, like 12? Is that too early?
No.
If it's live, probably.
But
Punk's a prime time.
Yeah, you got to put him on at
character
night.
though.
But it's hard.
It gotta be dark outside.
It's hard.
That's
Saturday
gonna be
night.
like a slippery
is.
slope,
It
though,
is.
man.
It's not gonna have good ratings.
I'd rather it be a Sunday night, but that's
Yeah.
pay-per-view night. Well, no, they do pay-per-views on Sunday. So
Yeah, they will be competing against WWE schedule now
on Saturday
because they show their pay-per-views on Saturday night now, unless it's one of the big boys.
Last one, Double Nut was on Sunday.
No, I'm talking about their
but WWE's
WWE's
Saturdays.
Saturdays. They do the Saturday premium live events now, unless it's like Mania and they doing 2 nights.
Yeah.
It's an interesting time.
The 4 shows they booked for that so far, tickets is
They not selling that?
no. That's why they announced Punk, and I thought that was stupid. You could have just kept it with the mystery. Is he gonna show up or is he not?
Where is?
I feel like they didn't, cause they did that with his premiere though. I think that's the only reason.
I don't like when you do
That's
that.
because it got out there.
I mean, yeah.
The last surprise they had was Bryan Danielson when he came out because no one knew he was there.
Yeah, that was I was oh shit they got.
He came out the same night as Adam Cole.
Yeah, I think
The last thing I remember Adam Cole was that during promo he did on my boy Cross, and they both ain't been the same since.
No.
He broke both his legs with that
But yeah, I feel like they announced it just because it was starting to go and feel like how when he premiered, it's in Chicago. Is he or is he not? So they're just going to be like, yeah, he is.
My problem with that show, they do too many surprises. Like, I don't need to see somebody new every damn week.
Overkill.
Yeah, it's like being overkill. Like, I was to the point I'm waiting for Goldberg to come out there.
He mess around, come out there.
Not just talking to him.
He said he didn't agree how WWE ended them off.
And then he gonna come there and spear Hobbs.
He got the championship. He got the championship.
He something about him what he and Vince agreed on didn't happen or something.
Oh, he talking about his retirement match. That's what he's bitching about.
He's tripping.
Yeah.
They let him come in and beat Kevin Owens the month before WrestleMania. He's tripping.
And also let him be fucking the Fiend.
The Fiend in like the dumbest match ever. Yeah, remember in Saudi Arabia?
I remember.
I don't blame you for blanking it out.
They ain't last long.
That was dumb. Like he went to war with Lashley a couple times. Lashley speared his kid.
Oh yeah, when Lashley said "fuck them kids."
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Goldberg's tripping. Like they let you take the title off Kevin Owens, man. You should be wanting to do whatever they say.
Niggas chucking up shots.
But if they told Goldberg he got a corner Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, he should want to corner Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch. They let you come out there and perform to make you feel cool in front of your kid and win a title over Brock Lesnar, who was on a rampage. Yeah,
in a squash match.
He's okay.
He's tripping.
He's okay.
Him and Ryback have retirement matches. Both of them can retire.
Then I was reading, right? So I don't think Tony Khan kind of thought about this new deal he signed. Because he's taking away everything, the freedom he had. He can't do no more pay-per-views. He has to let HBO, Max gets all his stuff now.
Is that the deal? The pay-per-views are going to be on.
Yeah,
or you got to pay for them, or are they going to be like because you subscribe, you can watch it.
You should subscribe. You should be able to watch. So and then everybody talking about now they're going to start. Here they go. When you get TV execs give you money, they're going to start putting their ideas on you. So everybody's saying he kind of gave up his freedom that he had when he was paying for time slots.
He should have hired a creative team. He wouldn't have to worry about that.
So this last pay-per-view they have going to be
that was the last one supposed to be double nothing for that.
Ooh, so that might not be a good idea.
What's in UK? What's in UK?
Oh, the Wembley Stadium.
Is that all out?
You want to know what's funny? That's a house show. It's not even a fucking pay-per-view.
It's not?
It's a house show. Go read it.
It's not even Wednesday night?
Because you got to remember, the next week is the all in, all out. Whatever one it is in Chicago. That's the pay-per-view. I've been telling you on the group, it's a house show the whole time.
I ain't really been
because that one has been doing numbers. That's one selling.
And they ain't got no Jamie Hayter because she injured.
She got hurt.
Oh, she's hurt.
Damn. Yeah, that's why she dropped the strap.
Oh, got it.
Wow. Damn.
We could talk about that too.
They got nothing.
I'm calling her Statlander. Statlander came back.
That was bullshit.
Nah, I'm
happy. Took it off my girl.
I'm happy for her, man.
You gotta give that to somebody. To me, they should have built the young girl up. They had
who they have.
I don't know.
They ain't got nobody.
I don't know. But Statlander didn't need that W.
She did.
Man. I feel like Statlander was playing the whole time.
Jesus, Joker.
Don't worry, bro. She gonna jump off the road one time and hurt her knee again.
You stupid.
I felt like she was the playing the whole time though.
Who Statlander?
Apparently it was. It's just she got hurt.
I'm tired of them beating on the black. Never mind. Shut up.
But you know what? I'm not convinced that because Jay's taking time off. This might have been Jay being like, "Yo,
because she was trying to get cheered, man. Like she was trying her best to get heat, but it wasn't working.
Yeah, she's a face.
She's too gorgeous. She's too gorgeous to boo.
Yeah,
she's too gorgeous.
And her physique.
And I also think they was running into a problem that it was like a Goldberg thing where they just kept feeding her.
Yeah, but even with Goldberg, it got to a point where you hated Kevin Nash because
for what he did.
Wow. That's the game. It's over.
Oh wow!
Oh, no sweet.
Oh wow!
Game 5.
Miami with the win.
Yeah, we said 5 or 6.
Yeah, Game 5. They put up a fight, man. I can't say nothing bad about Jimmy Butler. I can't say nothing bad about Miami Heat.
I can say something bad about Jimmy Butler.
Spoelstra, none of them. I can't talk about bad.
It's not really bad.
I meant to say
Butler, but about my Sixers.
I meant to say it when we was talking about basketball. Miami Heat are the second number 8 seed to ever even go to the finals. So
word.
We'll make them maybe the number 1, the first 8 seed to win if they win.
Yeah.
Because the way they play, it's just, I don't know, you can't count them out.
I don't know why he shot that fadeaway. That was retarded.
Yeah.
Thought it was MJ.
He did that shit last year.
Didn't matter now.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good shot Murray had, though.
He did have a good look, yeah.
That's his only shot he made.
Step back bangers. It was almost him.
Touch that front rim. Yeah. Never see AEW. They give about the people that you root for. Then he's snatching right off him. I'm still mad about the ass boys. Man.
I'm still mad about
Hobbs got off that damn.
And then Hobbs got robbed. They give it to a fucking.
I'm still mad about the Lucha Brothers only having that. They literally only fought.
Oh yeah, that one.
They fought the Elite for 2 months, and then they took it off of them. They didn't fight nobody else. They just fought the Elite.
Well, from what I read the other day, they only wrestled those matches against them because Pac's injury, because of his nose being broken. Like he's not there now because he had to get like a double nose surgery and.
But they could have. All right, so who has Elite fought? Now they fought the people that they lost it to. I keep forgetting their name. I want to call them Judgment Day.
House of Black.
Yeah. Now they.
But then they do AR Fox and the 2 other brothers.
Alpha Flight.
Yeah,
Flight Club or something.
One of them broke
I mean, you can find 3 people to put together. But for some reason,
problem they didn't want to find.
When the Lucha Brothers had it, it was let's just go against the Elite. They had no title defense. It was just let's put them 7 matches against each other and run it back.
And they probably was also trying to like save face.
I like those. I liked the matches. I got nothing wrong with the matches. I just felt like they did the Lucha Brothers dirty with a title reign.
They won the matches.
They should have never won it. If y'all was going to do that, just let Elite win it from the beginning and then let it go 7 matches against the Lucha Brothers. But let Lucha Brothers lose.
They won the same. They won the titles the same night they jumped Punk. Huh? So I said they won the titles the same night they jumped Punk.
So remember they had to drop the titles.
The Ass Boys was over, man. When they came out the Medi, man, that's okay. Thank you, Tony.
They take it too soon, man.
Yeah, they gave him up too fast. Then Hobbs was like rolling. Then you give it to the Wardlow like the dude on program that was taking steroids, man. That's what he looked like.
Oh God! What was his name?
I forget his name. He looked just like him.
Yeah. The View.
Is it me? Is it me? But is it Orange Cassidy fighting 2 days a week?
Yeah, Orange Cassidy, the only one going hard.
He been fighting every day I turn to AEW. Orange Cassidy got a match.
You guarantee you see Orange Cassidy every week and the Wizard.
I'm like, God damn! How many times he gonna defend this shit
again?
Like
that man main event Wizard.
I had to turn it off, man, because like I said, no daddy magic. So I changed it when he ain't on. I change it.
I just wish they improved their storylines, man. Because I'll go like 3 or 4 weeks watching it, then I'll be like,
Well, what I will say is,
y'all think MJF got stale though?
Huh?
Y'all think MJF?
I think MJF was a victim of CM Punk getting fired, or not fired, but put on hiatus. CM
fucked everything up.
Yeah, MJF and CM Punk would have been the best wrestling storyline now.
What, last year?
Yeah.
Compared to
it would have been.
It was there. I was just mad it didn't finish.
It would have been the best storyline.
No, I hope.
It would have.
I hope
there was nothing better than that. It was nothing better. Yeah, they can't bring it back.
I think his whole thing sucked. Like MJF's whole.
But no, it was big. It felt. It
didn't feel real.
It felt more visceral of a storyline than any other thing in wrestling. The only other thing that came close to that storyline was the bloodline stuff.
I thought
they were touching some nerves on it. That's why I was like,
It wasn't even touching nerves. It was a point where you had to think about, is MJF serious?
Nah, I knew he wasn't serious.
All right, maybe you, Brian.
Only reason why I say it wasn't serious.
A lot of people.
Yeah, I know a lot of people was into it, but to me, if had 6/27/11 never happened, then it would have been a different story. But he did the same thing CM Punk did when he was sitting Indian style, wearing a Stone Cold Steve Austin T-shirt.
And that
he didn't have to be PG like how Punk did.
And they both hit. They both hit. It hit.
It's not for me because if I've already seen it, I ain't interested.
Right after that, CM Punk got a contract.
It was like a to me.
I'm sorry, not CM Punk. MJF got a contract.
It was like like an over the top version of what we already saw.
I promise you. After that, WWE was trying to get MJF.
They probably still trying to get him, just to steal him from where he's at. But to me, he doesn't. His matches don't equate to paying him a lot of money.
Honestly,
and
out of the last pay per view, they had one of the best matches.
I had to watch it. I didn't watch it.
It was good.
They had one of the best matches,
and he doesn't wrestle enough for me to be like, okay, he does.
That's an argument. That's an argument. That is an argument. He doesn't wrestle.
To me, he just doesn't. He don't do it for me.
I get it.
Daddy Magic is a better character.
I'm talking about the storyline between them two. Got to a point where people were tuning in to see what happened.
I didn't buy it.
I was.
Maybe not you, but a lot of people were tuning in to watch that storyline. For me,
it did nothing.
Okay.
It's only because we already seen it before with CM Punk. And CM Punk is a better promo. Without having to be belligerent.
I believe the numbers would back what I'm stating.
I ain't worried about numbers. I'm talking about how I felt personally. And I
get what you're saying personally. I'm just saying, as far as what was selling for AEW was that storyline.
What was it though? Was they selling out arenas?
I don't know about.
I remember when they were showing the Hurricane.
It was getting viewers.
It wasn't nobody in the audience.
It was getting viewers.
People weren't showing up.
I
to
just
see
think that
mess.
his momentum got killed with all that.
Now I will give you this. Now, were we robbed of seeing what could have came of it? Yeah. But for me, I just honestly just think that we got the best out of it that we were going to get after the dog collar joint. I don't think we was going to get anything better than that.
I think we was getting there in this.
I think there was something left in that tank that they could have reached.
Maybe also too is because I'm just not a fan of MJF.
Okay,
and it's he don't do it for me. To me, he's a carbon copy of CM Punk.
Okay,
he's a shorter version of what CM Punk used to be in Ring of Honor.
He's a little bit different. And to me,
and he can't, and his matches aren't as good as CM Punk's.
He's in a weird spot because of where we've been through in history. He's cognizant of who came before him, and because of that, it builds into his character. He puts it into his character. He has Triple H in him. He has CM Punk in him. He has certain people who you can see who he's influenced by.
But it hasn't made him worth watching for me anyway.
Okay.
I just think
you know who's a better villain than him? Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara is a better villain than him. And he don't have to get out there and holler and scream till his veins on his face.
The only reason why Sammy Guevara is a better villain is because Sammy Guevara is a person that looks like he has everything. And people don't like that.
I think they still mad that he broke.
And he broke up with his girl.
That he proposed to. They still mad.
I think he has legitimate hatred. And like MJF to me he's somebody that has to always be in character to to be what he is.
Okay.
I just don't dig him. Like I don't. Okay. To me, he's not one of those guys that if he was here, I'm paying my money to go watch. I'd rather watch him on TV or so I can change him when he starts to get boring to me.
I got you.
And I'm kind of piggyback off of one thing Brian said. I feel like that dog collar match. How do you have another match?
Yeah, how do you top that? Because that was brutal.
Because that match, cause I feel like a dog collar match is the type of match that we putting this shit to bed. Mm-hmm. This is the last time I want to see your ass in this ring with me, and I don't want to fight you again.
I don't know where it was going, and I just felt like it wasn't complete.
And it was almost beat for beat from when Punk fought Raven.
And I felt like once he came out,
Ring of Honor, it was almost the same exact thing, except for Raven and Punk did their collar match in a steel cage.
And even a step further, the way they did the match, like you had Punk go back to who he was, come out to his old theme, come out with his old ring gear. Then it, to me, would have felt weird to have another match where now Punk's coming back out to Cult of Personality in his current ring gear.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like that match was the match to solidify. I don't want to fight you anymore. This is it. We're ending it right here, right now. And that's how that match felt to me.
It kind of feels like if they try to do Cody and Roman one more time.
I agree with that.
You've already done what you can do with that.
I don't want to see this no more.
Nope, I don't want to see it again. And maybe for me it's just MJF's promos. They don't feel earned. Like when CM Punk lost his shit on Raw that night, I felt as though he earned his right to go off like that. MJF hasn't earned his right to go off like that. Like, what did he do in his time in AEW that let him demand more money? What has he done? Like, what did he do? What accomplishments has he done?
Because
what classic matches or feuds has he had to garner any of that kind of attention?
Got him that contract was his feud with CM Punk, and where
the
trajectory of where it was going.
So I
believe it was getting like highest views.
So he only
of the year when that happened.
It was
like I said, he only had
one of my favorite feuds of the year, though. Yeah.
So he only had one.
Maybe
he only had one reason to pay him.
So
Punk got like 30.
So, but look at the others, right? So you're looking at Darby Allin. You're looking at Sammy Guevara. You're looking at Jungle Boy. Who in there are you really afraid of going to WWE?
None of them.
Exactly. But for some reason, MJF, when the CM Punk MJF thing was, when those numbers are rising, it was like he may be the one where we might be afraid of losing.
I think he
and I think that's what happened.
He got those pops just because he mentioned WWE.
Maybe
that's just like
maybe not. But I'm
now,
telling you,
what if Austin Theory goes out there and says, "I can wrestle for AEW"? Everyone's gonna go, "Oh man!"
How did you feel?
It's whack.
Did you feel it was a little bit deeper than some storyline that it kind of got a little real?
There were times where I was like, was he? When he talked about, idolizing Punk, and then that promo was the one I was like, oh, it was kind of.
Some things felt a little closer than somebody wrote this.
But also with that, I personally felt that feud came too fast. I would have kept them apart as long as you could have kept Punk.
Maybe.
I
felt having a hard time selling tickets.
That's their problem.
Because when it went down, I was like, damn, they're already getting the MJF and Punk.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt like that feud should have been because they're two hot mics. You should have kept them away from each other as long as you could before you started. That's what I personally felt when it went down. Okay. I mean, I liked the feud, but I did. Came a little early for me.
Yeah. I don't think they go back to it when CM Punk come back. Even if they do, I think it's going to be some time. Hopefully, it's some time in between.
Because I don't even know how you rehash the promos.
You can't bring it back. And I felt like that whole thing of, all right, well, we're going to bring Moxley back. It ruined a lot of that momentum. And it's been weird since then. MJF's character has not really hit since then.
The only thing I think will have some heat in AEW is if CM Punk's cutting a promo and Kenny Omega interrupts him. I think that's the only thing that's going to feel real over there.
I don't see that one.
That's the only thing that I think will feel real. Okay. If they brought them two together one-on-one in the ring to say what they got to say to each other. You ain't got.
What do y'all feel about Ospreay?
I like him.
I think he's going to be headlining WrestleMania.
He's in a real weird spot right now.
His contract ends February 2024.
I mean, the question is whether or not if he's going to want to come to the United States.
Then his boys. Well, he had a chance to go there in 2016, and he chose New Japan.
Yeah, he wasn't who he is now.
Isn't his boy on AEW now?
Both of them.
But he even said himself, he was like, just because y'all went there don't mean I'm coming.
Going. Yep. Mm-hmm.
He said we'll still be friends, but he said I got to think about other things.
Yep. And the Aussie Open thing was only over because New Japan throws random matches together, and they just happen to be foreigners. There's like a Bullet Club thing. Yeah. They just throw the foreigners together and say, "Hey, you guys come wrestle these guys." Yeah, and it just happened to get over because Ospreay is one of the most amazing people to ever grace a ring.
Yeah, he's in a real. He's gonna have a little bit more.
He wrestles Seth Rollins at WrestleMania in 2 years. Or no, when you say February's contract is up, so in 1 year he's going to be wrestling.
And they already keep going back and forth at each other.
He put the weight on because he was a little skinny. He put the weight on, and now he can go out there and still do what he was doing. With increased muscle mass, he's going to he's going to be over there.
But will the WWE let him work the way he wants to work?
If Triple H is still involved, I believe so.
Shit, everybody working the way they want to work. Mm-hmm. Shit, look at Bray Wyatt. The whole fucking thing was management wanted him to be Fiend. He told him no. Mm-hmm. He has creative control over his thing. He wouldn't have got that with Vince.
Yep.
I want him to come back.
Will Ospreay is going to be their next Logan Paul, who can actually wrestle more.
Okay, I was about to say that. He's better
athletic wise.
Okay.
Not even a side note before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
They saying Punk's feud might be with Jay White.
Switchblade.
That's what
Go ahead, Brian.
about.
Say it.
Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead, version of Seth Rollins.
Go ahead. The great value version.
Great value. And that's not even bad to say that. Like you just not that guy yet. Like he has the opportunity.
Ew, that went from Samoa Joe to that.
I'd rather Samoa Joe. I'd rather see Goldberg than Samoa Joe.
There are people who's been on the back burner because I'm assuming just not enough time. They want to take time off. They trying to knock up Charlotte Flair.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, he wanted. He said
Andrade.
He wants Andrade. He wants
the other guy, Miro, supposedly showing back up. Who else am I missing? There's somebody else.
That's who I want to see fight Goldberg.
Thunder Rosa supposed to come back to so we'll see what happens. But
didn't she she was hurt right for a long period of time?
Correct. Yeah, I think she's good now, and I believe it's gonna be her against Jamie Hayter again.
She be looking good without her face paint. I mean, she look good with the face paint, but
she said somebody told her that she needed to paint her face because she was too attractive.
I never seen it without the face paint. I gotta look. I gotta see it.
You got something out there.
That's them stories be funny when you hear about the covering your face. Remember Andrade when his face covered and Triple H told him no?
Yeah.
You gotta take the mask off.
Got him a wife.
Got him a Flair.
Because remember NXT really wasn't doing that with the mask.
You know what though? How people say WWE doesn't need a writing team; they need wrestlers in charge. I think AEW needs a writing team and no wrestlers in charge because they look like old school WCW.
There is and that's the feel that I get from AEW is WCW.
I've been saying this since day one.
And
you have,
I don't know if there needs to be a happy medium of look, we don't want to be the establishment, i.e. WWE, but we want to be different. There has to. It's either you one way or the other, or they try to find a medium. And right now, AEW's one end of the spectrum, WWE's the other end of the spectrum, and somewhere in between, we can get perfection.
if they focus more on their younger guys, like an MJF, to give them more exposure, they're better off. Like they don't need to showcase Jericho's crew, even though Daddy Magic my guy. They don't have to showcase them. They don't have to showcase this extra show helps alleviate that
because Jericho gonna be main event.
There was only a certain amount of video on screen time,
right?
Main air time.
Yeah. So now on Wednesday, MJF cuts a promo. He burns into everybody like he do. Lights go out. House of Black is there. So now you got a whole different adversary for him, and then you go down the line. You got Warlow as the champion. He wins a match. Miro comes out and challenges.
Right.
Because Miro's already had that title. So then you've already given it to him 3 times now. So now you got to have somebody come in there and say, hey, I've won it. It's time for me to win it again.
Fresh face.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got Statlander is your champion. So now you got to let Statlander have classic matches with everyone who Jade Cargill ran through. So when Jade Cargill comes back and she beats Statlander, it's more believable that she was able to come back and conquer that champion.
You sure they're going to let her get a title shot?
I think she will.
I think she will. Take some time off.
I don't think they'll. The time she takes off will build up that anticipation for her to come back. And I don't even know who's a regular women's champion now.
It's Toni Storm.
Toni Storm be
okay, I forgot.
Baby.
Ugly bitch.
She look good.
You wild.
I love Toni Storm.
I love her accent. That accent too.
And Toni Storm fine as hell.
Ain't nothing wrong with that lady right there.
Ain't nothing wrong with Toni Storm.
Fuck that bitch.
Ain't got a damn thing wrong with her.
Ain't
nothing wrong with her.
Toni Storm.
I don't like her.
She's thinking every word she needed.
Toni Storm can do no wrong.
I like her accent too.
Drink the bath water.
Marvin's Room.
Some Marvin's Room trying to get away from I ain't gonna call him Rock Hard. What's that dude name? What's his name? Why is his nickname Rock Hard, man? Come on, man. What y'all doing?
Juice with the 2 close eyes.
His eyes are kind of close.
Yeah.
I don't think we even got a chance to talk since we've been Sasha Banks, aka
Mercedes Moné.
Mercedes Moné.
Oh, that sucks.
Got injured.
Somebody's injured.
I think we did. May have talked, maybe not, but yeah, she's injured, so we expecting her out for a while.
Yeah, she's gonna be out for a minute.
That's nothing new.
I saw they said she changed the ending. I guess she was supposed to go over, but she changed the ending once she figured out she was hurt. So
Okay, so she was supposed to win.
She was supposed to win. Yeah.
Right.
She called it in the ring.
And you know what? I'm glad.
Yeah.
Willow deserves a little bit of.
Willow.
I like Willow. She been
doing her thing.
Something they created.
Willow do her thing.
Strong woman.
I don't know. That might be.
It's a strong.
Strong
champion. Something.
Well, apparently they're gonna
New
start
Japan's-
backing her now. So
It's a title they created for her because he agreed to stay.
What belt she had before?
Who?
it was a stardom belt, I believe.
It was a tournament or something.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody had it.
Champ before that.
Who?
Mercedes.
No, she wasn't.
Yes, she was. She had
She fought Kairi Sane.
She beat Kairi Sane for a belt.
It was a stardom belt, I believe.
when they did that botched finisher that she was trying to do.
So they out here creating belts for her because she stayed.
I'm gonna create the title too.
I didn't know what the belt stood for. I thought it was they changed the name of it.
Nope, she lost that title to some other Asian woman.
Oh, okay.
All right. Let's
Get to the
we're
meat.
115.
Get to the meat and potatoes.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes while we're here today.
Oh, hold on. Before we even get to that, though, we skipped on Danny Masterson.
We skipped it.
We did that.
Do we need? I thought we did.
Let's just say
Yeah, we did. Because then I said I thought he was Iron Fist.
Yeah, you did.
No, we were just talking.
Yeah.
off-
No, we
off camera,
were done
off
before the
camera.
show. We were just talking before the show started.
Before the show started. All right, go ahead.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't really care about him.
Basically,
I don't even know who he is.
He's the dude from the '70s show.
I know who
Show
show
Hyde.
He don't matter.
All right.
My
Never
favorite
seen that
character,
show.
One person, real quick. Just who know it?
My favorite character from that '70s show, Hyde, who we found out was black on the show. Part black, but anyway, part of the show. He finds out he's black. He finds out his dad's black. That's why his hair looks like that. But anyway,
That's what they said. Okay.
yeah, in the show, the dad from Sister is his dad in the show. Owns a record store. Whole different story. I was a big fan of that '70s show. Anyway, he got caught on some is it actual rape charges?
Yeah, like 2 counts.
Yeah, and I think it were more than that. And then he was found guilty of 2.
Well, they mistried 1, and then they retried him, and they found him guilty. So now he's facing 30 years.
That's
all, folks.
I mean, when you're famous, you don't gotta take it. Come on, man.
Yeah, my thing
Don't take
is
it.
now is are they going to take that '70s show off like they did Bill Cosby? Oh, the Cosby
For what?
show.
Why would
Cosby-
you do that?
Cosby
He's not
Show.
even on the new version. The
Cosby.
90s show.
But would they? I mean, but they. Anytime we do something like that, they punish us to the fullest extent.
Cosby's still on though.
Cosby show still come on.
Yeah, still on.
Which channel?
It's on one. Was that TV One or whatever it's called? He's still on.
He ain't on anything else.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he's still in the building.
Well, you know what? He
Cause.
going to jail now. Next subject.
All right. Why we came here today?
Just fitting at it.
Why we came here today? To talk about,
The
and we're
movie.
gonna do a non-spoiler. Okay? Non-spoiler. But this past weekend, we got a release of Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. Oh yeah. Animated picture by Sony.
Bless you. Gesundheit, salud.
Animated movie, Sony. Second in a trilogy. First one, I'm a fan of. First one, I am a fan of. I thought it was a great movie. This one,
That's low key spoiler.
what?
What you just said.
They've been said it was going to be 2 movies.
They already
Oh,
put it out.
When they
I guess I was the only one in the movie that didn't know that shit.
When they announced the second one, they said it was going to be 3 movies.
Oh, I didn't
They
even
said it
know.
was going to be 2 movies.
I didn't even
Split
know.
it in 2.
I didn't even know. My bad. Not spoiler.
So I didn't even say that it was getting spoiled.
Nah,
I
it
just
was
said it
spoiled.
was a trilogy,
Yeah.
and that's what they announced months back.
See, I didn't know. I didn't hear that shit.
Second one, I'm gonna just say, exceeded my expectations.
100%.
Feel free to give your feedback. Try to stay non-spoiler as much as possible. However, all I can say is I thoroughly enjoy this iteration of a Spider-Man. This may be even though it's not live action, may be one of my best Spider-Man's experiences that I've had in my life, including Tobey Maguire's, Andrew Garfield's, Tom Holland's animated series. To me, animated series is always going to be there because that's my first real experience with Spider-Man, right? But these two movies so far,
They knocked him out of the park.
Ooh. So I'll give you guys the floor, whoever wants to go from here, but I recommend seeing it. I'm going to give it, I don't want to get, I'll give it a 9.5.
Yeah. That's a good,
That's what
9.
I'll give it a 9.
Maybe even an 8.5. I think the length of it made it drop the number down a little bit.
I didn't mind the length. By the time the movie was over, I thought I had 30 more minutes.
It kind of there's certain parts that drug
Maybe
that
but
didn't
I
need
think,
to drag.
Okay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I can't take it away from you. Anybody? Jason, go ahead. Let's go down.
What I thought of it?
Yeah,
Amazing. Loved it.
Not the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, he was there too. He was there too. But
Oh, he was.
huh? You don't know which one the Amazing Spider-Man is, though.
Good job.
There's
Which amazing is so many Spider-Mans. You don't know which one I'm talking about. Right. It's more than one Amazing Spider-Man.
They do show
And I'm telling you, it's not even going to be the one that you're thinking the Amazing Spider-Man is. But yeah, it was.
it wasn't Jay for the
Wonderful.
first time.
It's so many Spider-Mans. If we start talking about the Spider-Mans,
What you think about
Wonder Woman
what you
popped
think-
out.
Get over there. Don't talk about the different ones. What'd you think? What's your review of the movie? 1 to 10.
It was great. It was 9.5, 10. I mean, I ain't going to say too much about it.
Okay.
Everybody go see it.
As far as Spider-Mans go, where does Miles Morales rank for you?
He might be my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah, out of this,
He might be my
you
favorite
talking about
Spider-Man.
movies?
Out
or
of
media?
all the versions of Spider-Man we had, we're gonna say Tom Holland. We're gonna say Andrew Garfield. We're gonna say Tobey Maguire. We're gonna say
I'm going to say Miles.
I'm gonna. You know what? Let's just stick to movie releases because it's hard to compare all the shows and movies together. So movie released Spider-Man. So out of those 4,
I think I like Miles a lot more just because I think his story is a lot more relatable to us.
okay.
Just because of his background, and it's us. It's, I mean, who wouldn't wouldn't want to see a kid who's going through the stuff that he's going through at 6? What is he? What?
15 now, so.
And that's a lot of weight on the world on a 15-year-old especially being a Puerto Rican and black descent. I really thought Miles was a lot relatable.
Okay.
More
What do you
so
rank?
than Parker.
What do you rank the 1 through 10?
I'm giving it a 9.
Okay.
A strong 9.
Brian,
And
8.5.
Yeah, I'm giving it 8.5, damn near 9. And like, even though he, the guy who voiced him, the people who wrote it, how it was directed. I mean, it was. If there is anything that you want to say, hey, what is an A+ quality film that I can watch that's involving superheroes? That's probably one of the first movies I show. But I won't put him over Tom Holland's iteration of Spider-Man just because we've seen more of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And Tom Holland to me is better than Maguire's and Garfield.
Praise the Lord.
Damn, 3.
I don't follow that nostalgia shit.
Okay.
Like, because it came out first is better. That's not my deal.
Okay.
If the movie's better, the movie is better. And I just think that Maguire and Garfield's movies, they're not better than Tom Holland.
It's hard for me to pick. It's hard for me to pick out of all of them because all of them really killed it. They were not.
They're all good, but the movies aren't good.
Especially Amazing Spider-Man.
The movies don't measure
I
up.
didn't hate the Amazing Spider-Man.
never watched them.
I didn't hate none of those movies. They just don't measure up.
Out of all the
Measure up to
Spider-Man
what?
movies,
To measure up to No Way Home?
They don't measure up to No Way
Home is the best
Homecoming
one.
or Far From Home.
Which one?
Far From Home is a little. Far From
I like
Home
No
is a
Way
little out. Far From Home is a little out there. It's a little longer than it need to be, but it was coming off the heels of Endgame, and everybody wanted to know how was the world being affected by Endgame. And I think Far From Home is the only movie out of the MCU that's really shown the effects of the blip. Nothing else that they've done since that has really shown that much of what happened. How the world is affected. Other than that, like they might speak on it, but that was the only one that showcased how the world is really dealing with it.
Okay.
And I just think that Tom Holland even though he's younger than those two guys, I just think that he evoked more emotion, and he's a better performer than Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Even though that those guys are Oscar caliber actors, to me, they couldn't sell me Spider-Man like how he sold me Spider-Man.
I get your point. And it may just be nostalgia talking. There is something about Tobey Maguire's that seems to relate to me. No. That seems relatable to me when it comes to the animated series. I don't see the animated series when I see Tom Holland. When I think of the animated, again, my basis for Spider-Man comes from the animated series. That's where my fandom of Spider-Man started. And when I think about those three actors, Tom Holland, no,
you're right.
Tobey Maguire is the closest to that. Even though his story didn't exactly match it.
In what way?
In looks, demeanor.
I see what you're saying.
It's just,
but you're comparing
it to me again. It's to me because of the animated series, not the character of Spider-Man. Storytelling wise, I get your point. I get your point in the art of storytelling, Tom, and that may be because of what happened with those prior two Spider-Mans. They went this route with this Spider-Man. If the other two didn't happen, maybe we don't get this version of a Spider-Man. So I think he has the benefit of that.
And that's true.
Tom Holland.
He had the benefit of improving what was not good.
What was bad about the old ones.
Yeah.
He was able to improve it because we had that in retrospect.
I think that's why it was so important to put them in No Way Home so they can get redeemed and get redeemed by better storytellers.
But I don't want to say. Also, I liked Amazing Spider-Man. He wasn't a bad Spider-Man. It's just he didn't have any of the gusto of being with MCU characters and or leading a comic book franchise.
He had nothing to bounce off of.
It wasn't enough with his.
But he really
that mattered. It didn't matter for him. They couldn't have come out with those movies and the same effect in popular culture would exist because he didn't have anything weighted with his series, if that makes sense. Reason why Tobey Maguire was important because he was one of the first comic book movies. It was X-Men and Spider-Man. The reason why Tom Holland was important because he was with the other MCU characters.
Not really though.
So the way
he had 6 minutes.
The real reason we got hyped about Spider-Man again is because when they showed Civil War trailer, we saw that damn web sling and him pop up in that trailer, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, they got Spider-Man back."
I think it was the fact that he was where he was supposed to be. Correct,
and that helped him propel back his Spider-Man to higher levels, and especially above Amazing Spider-Man.
And that boy delivered on his performance.
Sure.
So if he's not good as Spider-Man, and you put him in there, and it's just to have Spider-Man,
but if he's bad, if Sony just made Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland, it wouldn't have been that good.
Back then, yeah. Back then, because you had to fail before you succeed.
Correct, and that's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying.
He has the benefit of hindsight of looking at the previous two iterations and saying, "Let's improve here."
Yeah, because if they were as good as
if Sony never gave
they wouldn't have got
Spider-Man back to MCU, and they was like, "We're just going to make a new Spider-Man series featuring Tom Holland."
But the MCU was going on,
and they did none of this MCU tie-in. They just tried to do a new Tom Holland standalone Spider-Man run. He wouldn't have been that great.
But they was already having the MCU was already going.
Because
they was already going when Amazing Spider-Man, the first one came out. It came out the week after.
Amazing Spider-Man is the weakest, right?
The first Avenger.
And you agree Amazing Spider-Man is the weakest?
I love the first one. I don't like the second one.
You agree out of the Spider-Mans, Amazing Spider-Man is the weakest.
Out of the
3 movie Spider-Mans, Amazing Spider-Man is the weak. And he's not the
one. I don't think Andrew Garfield got enough time to explore that character.
And I'm telling you, part of why Tom Holland, this is my belief, has been propelled higher than Andrew Garfield is because Tom Holland had 2 things in his favor. The benefit of retrospect of the prior 2 entries of Spider-Man, as well as being involved with the MCU characters. If Tom Holland didn't get that. If Tom Holland didn't get that, I think he'll still be the same.
And it's only because they had two bad series beforehand.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
I just want to make sure that it wasn't all. It's a combination of factors.
If those movies were good, they don't replace them.
I like.
It's just okay. You know what does his argument?
I'm gonna say it till I
Don't say it.
You know what does his argument? Hugh Jackman was Wolverine in a lot of bad X-Men movies, but continued to be able to be Wolverine.
Yes. Sure was.
Because
Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield was in a bunch of bad movies, and they replaced them because they weren't what they were.
Andrew Garfield
I like
two
the one with the
movies.
lizard. I like that first one.
Andrew Garfield had 2 standalone movies. Okay,
They're not
two standalone
They don't
movies.
hit.
Oh, he screwed himself on Spider-Man. Remember?
No, he was in. Like they was supposed to have done that.
Did he get in trouble though? For something?
No, they
He didn't
decided
get-
to
They had another movie in the works, and then they scrapped it. When remember,
'Cause the
there was a
movie
whole
looked like how
there was
it
a
was
whole
supposed to.
email leak with Sony,
Yeah, well,
and Sony were in talks with Marvel at the time, trying to get
Garfield,
Spider-Man
in
into MCU. There was some other goofy stuff with with 21 Jump Street and
Men in Black.
Men in Black and some other stuff.
it was a whole lot of crazy shit. Yeah, it was.
But the main one was, can we get, I'm assuming, Andrew Garfield into the MCU?
And
I don't know why that fizzled out, but
They said no because I'll say this. They said no because the part 2, the money didn't really come up to par.
Why was there an Amazing Spider-Man, the first one?
Because the first
because they were still
money.
trying to get money.
Because
Sony
the
was trying to
third
get money.
Spider-Man movie was not good.
Who?
The third Spider-Man movie was not good.
But it sold.
But it was not
It
good.
made- it
It's
made-
sold. Do people talk about it in high regard?
No.
Maybe not, but it sold.
So you have
Did
a
you
reason-
watch it?
Yes. And I
Exactly.
did not like it.
Exactly.
I seen it one time. That was
Exactly.
it. So, but they did that movie, and then what they do after that? They replaced what was going on, and then they made that one, and then when that didn't hit like how the other one did, what they do?
So my
What they
guess
do?
is
What they do? What did they do though?
What are you saying?
I'm asking, what did they do? When the stuff isn't good, what do they do? Look, Batman. Look at those track records. Superman. When those movies aren't good,
Okay.
people may like the actor that's playing them, but when the movies aren't good, they get replaced.
Okay.
That's what happens. And Spider-Man's trilogy, Sam Raimi's trilogy, was okay in the middle.
No.
And then it fell off.
Okay.
Amazing Spider-Man
Sure.
was good in the beginning, then it fell off. So they
Out
was
of a
like, let's
trilogy.
replace this and do something better because they was able to learn from their mistakes and make better films.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Real quick, Brian. Just because a movie didn't rate well doesn't determine if it was a success or not. Spider-Man 3.
That's like a double-edged sword.
Listen. Spider-Man 3 sold. It made its money. Okay? It didn't rate well.
What was the outcome?
It didn't rate well because he did 3 movies. He wasn't going to be Spider-Man forever.
was
Tobey
gonna be a
Maguire is
fourth,
something
though.
however old right
But it was
now.
supposed to be the fourth, though.
Tobey Maguire is however old. He's not going to be Spider-Man
He
forever.
didn't even want to come back for the
And
second
he
one.
did, and he did.
He said his
came
back
back
was
for-
hurting
he
and
came
Joe
back
Hall
for
was
2
supposed to
more.
play him.
He came back for 2 because you know
Joe Hall
why?
was supposed to play him.
But you know why?
Because he didn't want to do it again because it was not good.
It sold.
Oh, Jake, you know,
Joe Hall was supposed to replace him because he said his back was hurting and the movies weren't good.
It sold, Brian. Just because it didn't rate well, it sold. And the
it did.
problem with the second Spider-Man,
Ant-Man and the Wasp
It
sold. It
didn't rate-
wasn't good.
and they made
Love and
3 of
Thunder
them,
sold.
and they
Wasn't
made
good.
4 of them. What's the point?
I'm saying that now.
Thor will return. Ant-Man will return.
Yeah.
Okay. It
But
don't
those-
rate well. But guess what?
And what
People went out to go see it.
what happened?
People
though?
went to go out
What
and see
happened?
it.
What's happening though? They're not bringing back Taika Waititi no more, and they fired the guy that wrote Quantum Mania.
Exactly.
So they
that's
like,
the real
that's
problem.
what I'm saying.
That's the real problem.
That's what I said.
That's the real problem.
That's what I said.
We're not saying replace Thor. We're not saying
Isn't
replace
that what I
Thor.
just said? Isn't that what I literally just explained that?
he's basically saying
I
they
did the
replace
same
people.
thing. They replace it when it's not good. That's what I'm saying.
They're not replacing Thor.
They're
not
gonna replace
replacing
the-
Ant-Man.
They're going to
Right.
replace the people that did it though.
Director,
Andrew Garfield ain't Ray Spider-Man.
he sucked. I'm sorry.
Tobey Maguire ain't Ray Spider-Man.
They brought,
So what are you talking about replacing?
they brought them back to redeem themselves.
Oh
though.
my gosh! Listen,
They were good characters in
bad movies.
Bad movies.
They brought them back to redeem themselves.
sure. All I'm saying, my whole argument, my it's not even an argument. What I'm saying is,
I mean,
I
I
want to
see
make
what both
sure.
of y'all are saying though. But
I just want to make sure when we talk about Andrew Garfield, okay, I want to make sure everybody is aware of the context in which he came out as Spider-Man. It was not in his favor.
Because he had to be the second guy up.
Second guy up. He did not have the
He
advantage.
was actually good though, man.
He was a good Spider-Man.
And that's not what I'm. And that's the thing.
And that's what I'm saying. We're not arguing. We're not arguing the same. We're not arguing. We're not even arguing about the same thing.
No,
we're arguing two separate things.
I'm saying their movies are bad. Not the guys are bad. Their movies are bad.
Correct.
And the movies being bad got them replaced. It ain't got nothing to do with them.
Now listen. Thor's movie was bad.
Yeah.
Is Thor replaced?
No, they won't replace him.
Exactly.
But if they did, no one's going to bat an eye.
I think they would.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Thor had two movies. Thor really only had one good movie.
Ragnarok.
You go? Oh, okay. I was going to say which one.
Thor had
Ragnarok. That's the best. That's the one that made me a fan.
Thor had one good movie, and it wasn't even his story. They're not replacing him. They're not replacing him. There's benefits of keeping Hemsworth as Thor.
And I also think the MCU was stuck on, somebody being that person because, they got so much flack replacing Howard with Cheadle.
Sure.
So I think a lot of keeping who they have and making that person happy has to deal with the backlash they got from that. Even though Don Cheadle is an upgrade. Not saying that Terrence Howard can't act, but he's an upgrade to what they had. Because Terrence Howard he's an Oscar winner. Like the boy did his thing. He does his thing out there.
Corey, are you planning to go see Across the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, on Tuesday. I'm off Tuesday.
Okay.
So
I don't go the first week like y'all do. I wait.
We'll talk about it again next week.
Yeah,
because I want to hear your opinion.
I think we got off on a tangent about what's better, and I think that if after thinking about it, I've seen No Way Home 3 times in the movie theater, and I've only saw Across the Spider-Verse once, and out of 1 to 3, I'm just in a spot where I'm like, damn, that was better than that.
Which was?
It was Across the Spider-Verse was better than No Way Home. And No Way Home, to me, and this is my opinion, is the third best product that they've ever put out in Marvel. Because Guardians 3 has knocked it out at number 2.
Okay.
But this, I just think it's one of those movies.
So you're saying Across the Spider-Verse is better than No Way Home? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing.
And it's not.
I don't know if I'm there yet.
And it's the only reason why I say that it's better is because Tom Holland Spider-Man's relationship with Aunt May does not touch Miles Morales' relationship with his mom and his dad. It's a light year difference.
I don't know if it's a night and day difference.
I think it's light year. I think their relationship is light years.
I think it's more relatable to you and us.
I think they more so want for the action and upgrading the action opposed to elevating the characters in the Spider-Man series. Because there's no Uncle. I'm talking about Holland's 3 movies. Like there's no Uncle Ben death. Like there's no dealing with the consequences, of him doing his thing. Only in No Way Home, and that was and that happened in the beginning of the movie, and then and he solved it at the end of the movie. It wasn't like something that went past one movie. It was all in one contained film. You know what I'm saying? Which is why Miles Morales' thing is stretched out past 2 movies now.
But we've seen Aunt May for all 3 of those movies.
Yeah, we have. But me personally, I just don't feel like that. Their connection to me isn't as deep as between Miles and his parents.
Again, I think it's more relatable for us to see Miles Morales and his parents' interactions than it was.
I mean, I know people have seen No Way Home by now because it's 4 years old now, 3 years. So when she died, I didn't feel it. Like it didn't. It was like, okay, I knew that was supposed to happen.
I don't know how I interpret her death scene at the moment.
That kind of shocked me. That they did that.
So
I was not expecting to
I wasn't either.
I'm kind of skewed with that for personal reasons, and I don't know if I am intaking that death scene properly. Because I had a immediate death in the family the same day. I went to go see that movie, and I might be just combining both those things together. With that said, the interactions with Miles and his parents, to me, seem genuine. whereas Tom Holland and Aunt May is the generic Aunt May connection that we've seen before. We haven't seen.
It didn't feel earned.
We haven't seen. I don't know how to phrase this properly. We haven't seen a down to earth, real life mother son father son connection.
More so than you feeling with Miles and his mom and his dad.
Because if you go ahead,
this is like a minor. I mean, it's not a spoiler. Their relationship. I mean, you could really tell in this second when it was. I wouldn't say strained, but it was more like a realistic approach on how you was dealing, on how a 16-year-old kid is dealing with their parents, how they were just taking some things for granted.
Yeah, and they're supposed to be like the same age, right? Because Holland was still in high school.
That's how I took it. I was like, okay. I mean, that's why I was more infused with it because he's got a lot going on, and yet you got the weight of the world on your shoulders on top of your day-to-day responsibilities. I mean, that's why I was like, I kind of see Miles' story a lot more relatable to us more so than.
Yeah. And maybe it's also just the Spider-Man character is more relatable to people.
Yeah, and to me, and I'll wait. But to me, there is a difference in the two Spider-Mans. And I'll wait for that discussion next week.
You're talking about Peter Parker
what I get from them.
Okay.
What I get from them motivationally. I feel two different things from each Spider-Man. Peter gives me something, Miles gives me something different. And I'll go in a little bit depth next week about that. Any last closing remarks about Spider-Man before we get out of here?
See that shit.
It was dope.
Okay.
The first two movies are dope. I'm sure this last one's going to be dope. Part of me, it's going to be cool when we get a live action Miles Morales.
They say you're supposed to show
But
So,
with
that being said, Amy
going,
Pascal, I believe, is the producer. She stated three things. There is a live action Miles Morales going to be coming. She almost guaranteed that. She also stated that there will be something done with one of the characters from this movie. I don't want to say too much yet.
What's you talking about?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
From Across the Spiderverse.
Okay.
And then what's the third thing?
They are moving forward with something else.
That after the writer's strike is done, Tom Holland's story will be continuing. So
they're stretching his thing another.
My guess is
films.
3 movies he's going to get.
Side note, before we even get all the way off the shore, what I was going to say was, part of me is kind of scared for it to go live action. Part of me is scared for it to go live action.
I'm with you.
Just because, especially this one, watching the first one, not as much. I could see that translating. The first one I could see translating almost seamlessly into a live action. Watching the effects of this one, and yeah, we can do things with special effects and everything else, but there's something about animation, like good old animation,
a lot more freedom
that it can do and still look great that you cannot do.
I got you.
Live action.
I got you.
So like a lot of stuff that we saw in this one, I was sitting there thinking about. Now, if they try to do this, not to say that the live action is going to be the same, because obviously going to be a different story. But if they try to do this in live action, does it work as well as with the animation was good? Because now I was a little iffy about that first one being animated. I was like, animated Spider-Man. You know, I've seen animated Spider-Man before. But you're trying to build it to me as a movie that ended up being really good. And now this one is the one that I'm kind of like,
you don't want to see it.
I kind of don't want to see it live action. I kind of want to keep seeing it animated.
Like a cash in.
This is like one of the rare.
Like I like it like this.
This is the rare film where it should stay animated, and
it has to come to live action at some point.
They're going to have to.
In order to especially sell Miles Morales as Spider-Man in the history of just comic books, they're going to have to make him live.
And hasn't his comic book started to peak more?
Well,
I'm sure, but Marvel
popularity?
wants to sell him as Spider. When people say Spider-Man, they want to say Miles Morales.
I mean, I know it's coming, but I just how it is right now.
They just have a tough act to follow. Like whoever is that person is going to be. They're going to have their hands full.
I think it'll be good still. I think it'll be
because everyone's going to compare it.
Yes,
like how we're doing now.
Yeah. I think it'll be I think it'll be a different story.
It just shows you the credit.
The origins will still probably be similar, but the plot, the villains and stuff will be different.
Yeah, you might have to stop messing with the Spiderverse. In my head,
multiverse stuff is weird to me.
I'll wait till next week when we do the spoiler show about a certain.
This multiverse stuff.
Let's wrap it up. We're almost at 1:45, so let's go and get up out of here.
1:45.
Episode 36 is in the books.
36.
The Watchers Podcast. WATCHERZ Podcast. That's on Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Before we get into our final outros, we will have a bowling event next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be going against two other crews. One crew being Derek Lewis and his crew. Derek Lewis has his own podcast. That's the D-Lou Podcast, I believe it is. So check him out when you get the chance. But, we'll have the updates for you. Probably get some footage. Get some footage.
We got to shout out Mike Mathis and the Grim Reapers.
Man, we ain't shouting Mike.
Who's part of it, and also our host Grendel Clark.
Grendel, cool as hell. Man.
So we'll provide you guys some back footage and some updates next week. But I've been practicing.
What on the low? You ain't told us.
I'm keeping it, but now it's not a secret. God damn it. That'll be taking place next Sunday. So, but yes, I'm Tavon. Tri-State_tip on the IG.
Tiger Helly 19 on the Snapchats. Jeezy. Government Jason Williams on the Face Beezy. I don't think anybody's ever called it the Face Beezy before. That's new. That's new. I just coined that. Go ahead and use it if you want to.
Julian.
Hot Smitty Green Giant on Instagram.
Every time you say green, I think about the vegetables.
That's why I chose it. Man.
Brian, where they find you at, brother?
365.
Corey Jim Instagram.
Good Lord.
Pineapples. LA Night. Yeah.
Episode 36, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good week. Drink water. Don't smoke. And
Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Omaha.
Omaha over Julian.
Till next week, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.